Josh Warrington answered the fevered call of his home city to give Leeds its first boxing world champion. The most heroic performance of his career gave Warrington his place in history and probably another potentially epic football stadium fight against Carl Frampton in Belfast this summer. Lee Selby's narrow failure to hold off the challenge of Warrington and their fanaticism of 25,000 fans in Elland Road was a blood-stained portrait in gallantry in its own right. Related articles previous one the next from one pair of royal malls to another, the Gypsy King and Manny Pacquiao now begins training camp ahead of world title. Floyd Mayweather receives incredible cake on visit too. Leeds fans can roar Josh Warrington to world featherweight. I don't want to fight Tony Bellew, he's a family man and I. A shot in time. Muhammad Ali, the Prime Minister and winning. Share this article. Share 17 shares Jeff Powell's scorecard. Selby round Warrington 91 10 9 2 10 10 3 9 10 4 9 9 5 10 9 6 10 10 7 9 10 8 9 10 9 10 10 10 9 9 11 10 9 12 10 114 total 115. The decision was split, and so was the left eyebrow of the defeated IBF featherweight champion. The latter so grievously that blood poured down his face onto his opponent's shorts and the referee's white shirt for most of a thrilling and highly charged night. This must count as a minor classic in the annals of great domestic battles in the prize ring. Warrington won it on two of the judges' cards, one by 116-112, the other 115-113. The third official at ringside gave it to Selby 115-113. By my accounting, Warrington took the belt 115-114 by raising a Herculean effort in the final round. Thus the bull bored the matador, and the evidence was splattered all over the ring. The gruesome gash was probably inflicted on Selby by one of Warrington's enforced clashes of heads, but the outgoing champion never flinched for a second in 12 ferocious rounds. The sporting citizens of Leeds turned out in force in the hope of seeing one of their own lift the title in the shadow of their ailing football team. Warrington obliged and said, "I came into the ground with the weight of the great expectations of the city on my shoulders, and I did it." They came from the pubs, where they'd been watching their old-time football rivals Manchester United lose the cup final, and maybe the royal wedding before that, via the bars in Elland Road. They filtered steadily into the stands, some 25,000 of them, as the boom in British boxing generated its fifth stadium fight in not much more than a year. Believers, or that their boy Josh could overcome the odds which favoured the world champion from Wales. Selby had come up the motorways as the clear favourite, but the Warrington army were ready and waiting with a hostile reception. A rock burst from the Kaiser Chiefs pumped up the volume to a crescendo just before the fighters entered the stadium. Fever on the pitch as legendary Leeds captain Lucas Radek led Warrington to the ring. This was Selby's fifth defense of his IBF title, and he looked calm in the atmosphere. The taller Selby came out looking to impose his longer left jab, but Warrington will have caught the judge's eyes in the first with two sharp left hooks, then a couple of solid right crosses. Warrington was supercharged by the crowd, and his storming assaults drew blood in the second. A series of big rights rocked Selby, whose sturdy chin withstood the assaults, but not his left eye. He came away from a clash of heads with blood streaming down that side of his face. The wound obliged Selby to change up the gears of his boxing, and as he found his range and timing he took the third. Selby's corner worked overtime on the cut, and he himself stepped up the pace in the fourth. Warrington was still connecting with the right, but not so frequently now. Warrington roused the crowd again with a fifth-round charge and probably edged the fifth. Just as Selby was beginning to dominate the sixth, referee Alexander called time-out for a lengthy inspection of the gash. He allowed it to continue, but Warrington smelled more blood and went on a round-winning onslaught with his right. This was a thriller, with Selby choosing to engage rather than box, and he dug out the seventh with a mixture of guts and guile. Warrington was still a bundle of aggression, but Selby was landing the cleaner punches, and the challenger beginning to miss. The ninth was a minor epic, Warrington slugging and Selby picking him off. Neither deserved to lose that one. The 10th was not too shabby either, but Selby was the more accurate coming into the championship rounds. Warrington, perhaps sensing some close scoring, powered his way through the 11th. It all came down to the last. They both fought a barnstorming finish, but Warrington was marginally the stronger at the climax. Related articles: previous one, the next from one pair of Royals to another, the Gypsy King and Manny Pacquiao now begins training camp ahead of world title. Floyd Mayweather receives incredible cake on visit too. Leeds fans can roar Josh Warrington to world featherweight. I don't want to fight Tony Bellew, he's a family man and I. A shot in time. Muhammad Ali, the Prime Minister and winning. Share this article. Share 17 shares.